White Sox fans? This is your Sox Machine White Sox wake-up call for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. I'm Josh Nelson. After a brutal meltdown in the 6th inning of last night's ball game, the Chicago White Sox needed a palate cleanser on the pitching front. They couldn't ask for a better starter than Lucas Giolito, who was on a hot streak entering the night. Since his debacle started at Pittsburgh, where he allowed 7 earned runs in 4 innings of work, Giolito made 5 straight starts, going at least 6 innings, while only allowing 8 earned runs in 32 2/3 innings. That's a 2.20 ERA during that stretch. Giolito and the White Sox had to wait out the rain, though, as a delay of 2 hours went into effect as first pitch was at 8:40 p.m. Central Time at Kauffman Stadium. The good news, especially for us content creators, is that the White Sox and Royals hitters didn't waste any time. Against the Royals starting pitcher Jordan Lyles, the White Sox offense didn't have a great game per se. 1, they didn't walk against Lyles, which is not a good sign. 2, the White Sox only mustered 6 hits against Lyles, which leads to point number 3. Jordan Lyles pitched a complete game for the Kansas City Royals. Luis Robert and Andrew Vaughn hit home runs, add in a Hanser Alberto double, which he would later score on Seby Zavala's base knock, and the White Sox did manage to score 4 runs. Again, it's Jordan Lyles. There should have been more runs scored by the White Sox offense. Alas. Now back to Giolito. In the first inning, he made a mistake throwing a slider right in the wheelhouse for Vinny Pasquantino, who mashed it for a solo home run, his 7th home run of the season. In the 6th inning, Giolito ran into some trouble as he allowed a leadoff triple to Bobby Witt Jr. Pasquantino would pick up his 2nd RBI of the night with a Kansas City special bloop single to left field. Eventually, the Royals would load the bases. I know what you're thinking. Here we go again with the 6th inning. Unlike Dylan Cease and Aaron Bummer, Giolito got out of his own mess by striking out Salvador Perez, Hunter Dozier hit an infield fly, and Freddie Fermin grounded out to Elvis Andrus, who made a nice nifty play, by the way, with a runner shielding him. In between the 1st and 6th innings, Giolito was brilliant again, like back to his 2019 to 2021 form again that the White Sox sorely missed last season. On 93 pitches, 62 for strikes, Giolito went 6 innings, allowed just 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and struck out 9. Everything was working for Giolito. His average 4-seam fastball in the night was 94.3 miles per hour, which is 1.5 miles per hour faster than his season average. The slider was thrown harder, and so was his changeup. Giolito generated 18 whiffs on 49 swings, which is a 37% whiff rate. That's good. The Royals whiffed 6 out of 10 swings against Giolito's changeup, but the improved fastball and slider was still working wonders for Giolito as he extends his streak of 6 straight starts, pitching at least 6 innings. Giolito's ERA during this 6-start stretch is 2.33. Yeah, contending teams are going to start taking notice of Giolito. Maybe the biggest surprise was the White Sox bullpen having a clean night. Pedro Grifol went to Joe Kelly for the 7th inning, then Ronaldo Lopez to face the Royals' heart of the lineup. Tonight, he had his 100-mile-per-hour heater. I agree with Jim Margulis that if Lopez doesn't have his 100-mile-per-hour heater, he has trouble against the opposing team's best hitters. When Lopez has the heat, he's good. It's just hard to know if Lopez has it until he's in the game. Last night, Lopez had it. In the 9th inning, Kendall Graveman got the save opportunity despite pitching on back-to-back days. All the Royals could muster was 3 pop-ups, and the White Sox won 4-2. None of the White Sox hitters had multi-hit games. Out of the 6 hits against Lyles, 5 went for extra bases, as Gavin Sheets and Lynn Sosa hit doubles along with Alberto's. Vaughn now has 28 RBIs of the season, and his season pace is 18 home runs, 53 doubles, and 123 RBIs, which is a pretty crazy stat line. Robert has 8 home runs and 21 RBIs of the season, which puts him on a 35 home run, 92 RBI pace, which I think White Sox fans would definitely take that. The White Sox are now 13-24 on the season. They are 10-12 against the Royals since 2021 at Kauffman Stadium. Tonight at 6:40 p.m. Central Time, hopefully if weather cooperates, it's Lance Lynn for the White Sox against Brad Keller of the Kansas City Royals. Lance Lynn could use a good start. He's allowed 4 or more earned runs in his last 4 outings, which is not putting the White Sox offense in a good spot to help support him. His season ERA is 6.86, and Lynn has only allowed fewer than 3 earned runs in any appearance this season once, and that was his first start of the season against Houston. Pay attention to Jackie Bradley Jr., Salvador Perez, and Bobby Witt Jr. as they have 2 career home runs against Lance Lynn. Vinny Pasquantino and Nick Pratto have also hit a home run against Lynn. Brad Keller has allowed more walks than strikeouts in 2023, so pay attention to the White Sox walk rate. If they are patient, they should get more free passes. If they remain ultra aggressive, it could be a good night for Keller. Tim Anderson, Yasmani Grandal, and Gavin Sheets all have hit a home run against Keller, but only Andrew Vaughn on the current White Sox roster has a good batting history against Keller. You can listen to the game on ESPN 1000 AM, or you can watch the game with us on another Sox Machine from the 108 watch party on playback. We'll start the stream at 6:30 p.m. Central Time as we provide live commentary of the action. Again, sign up for free at playback.tv/Sox Machine. Down on the farm, Garrett Crochet hit 98 miles per hour on the gun. Yoan Moncada and Oscar Colas hit home runs. And the Charlotte Knights still lost 5-3 to the Durham Bulls. Jesse Skoltens allowed 5 runs in the first 3 innings, but did last 5 innings for the Knights. Crochet went 1 scoreless inning with a strikeout. Moncada was 3 for 3 before Laz Rivera replaced him. Oscar Colas was 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, but had a throwing assist, nailing a runner at third base. Clint Frazier went 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. The Birmingham Barons had a 2-1 lead after 3 innings, but the Pensacola Blue Wahoos scored 3 runs in the 4th inning to hold on for a 4-2 victory. Alexander Womack had a big night for the Barons offensively. He went 3 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and walked. Yoki Cespedes went 2 for 4. Unfortunately, Womack and Cespedes had 5 of the 6 base hits for the Barons. Cespedes' season OPS, by the way, is now .850. The Barons are 11-17 to start the season. The Winston-Salem Dash were down 5-1 at one point, but scored 5 runs in the 5th inning, and the go-ahead run in the 9th inning to fight off the Greenville Drive 8-7. Wilfred Veras had 2 doubles and 2 walks. Wes Kath went 2 for 5 as the Dash as a team had 10 base hits and walked 11 times. The Dash are 19-7. They lead the South Atlantic League South Division by 7 games, and they are the only team in their division that's above 500. They are playing good baseball down in Winston-Salem. Kannapolis improves to 14-12 in 2023 with a 5-1 victory over Fayetteville. Tim Elko, who really needs to be promoted to Winston-Salem, had another monster game going 3 for 5 with his 8th home run of the season, and he scored 3 runs. His season OPS is over 1,000. Tyler Schweitzer, the White Sox 5th round pick in the 2022 Major League Baseball draft out of Ball State, went 6 scoreless innings, only allowing 1 hit, walked 2, and he struck out 6 on 80 pitches. You can hear more about how the White Sox 2022 MLB draft picks are faring on the latest Future Sox podcast with Mike Rinkin and James Fox. Listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Around Major League Baseball, the Baltimore Orioles are now 10 games above 500 as they beat the Tampa Bay Rays 4-2. The Yos are 23-13, and while they are 5.5 games back of the Rays, the Birds are proving that their uprise is still happening after their surprising 2022 campaign. The Cincinnati Reds hold off the New York Mets' late rally to win 7-6. The Mets are off to a slow start as they drop to 2 games below 500 at 17-19. Alek Manoah is still struggling for the Toronto Blue Jays as Aaron Nola did enough to help the Phillies beat the Blue Jays 8-4. The New York Yankees scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning on their way to putting up a 10th spot on the Oakland A's, winning 10-5. The Yankees are 20-17 on the season, while Oakland drops to 8-29. Speaking of Oakland, according to the Nevada Independent, The A's and Bally's Corporation have agreed to building a $1.5 billion retractable roof stadium on the grounds of the Tropicana Hotel on the Vegas Strip. The Atlanta Braves cool off the Boston Red Sox with a 9-3 victory. The Braves are 25-11 to start the season. Hello. The St. Louis Cardinals have won back-to-back games against the Chicago Cubs thanks to a 2-run ninth inning to win 6-4. The Los Angeles Dodgers beat up the Milwaukee Brewers early on their way to a 6-2 victory. Framber Valdez was terrific for the Houston Astros as he went 8 innings and struck out 12 batters on his way to outdueling Shohei Ohtani. The Astros beat the Angels 3-1, and the Astros are back to 500 at 18-18. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins lost to the San Diego Padres 6-1. And despite having 9 hits, the Detroit Tigers did not score as the Cleveland Guardians shut them out, winning 2-0. Your updated American League Central standings. The Minnesota Twins still lead. They have a 19-17 record. They're 2 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians, who are 17-19. Detroit, hanging around, is 16-19, 2.5 games back of the Twins. The White Sox again improved to 13-24. They're 6.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins. And then there's Kansas City at the very bottom. They are 10-27. All 5 teams would be in last place in the American League East. That will do it for this White Sox wake-up call. You can follow us on Twitter. We're at Sox Machine. You can follow me on Twitter at SoxMachine_Josh. Subscribe to the Sox Machine podcast wherever you listen to podcasts such as Spotify and Apple Music. We also upload podcast episodes into our YouTube channel, which please subscribe to at youtube.com/SoxMachine. If you enjoy our work and want more, subscribe to our Patreon to receive exclusive content and ad-free versions of the website and podcasts. Monthly plans start at $2, or you could save with an annual subscription. Again, sign up at patreon.com/SoxMachine. The White Sox Wake Up Call is a production of SoxMachine.com, your home for all things Chicago White Sox baseball and part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. I'm Josh Nelson. Thanks for listening.